paramedic Clint Christie. Clint was born in 1971 in Newport Beach, California. That fits. He grew up in Balboa Island, Newport Beach, California, and graduated from Corona Del Mar High School in 1989. After high school, Clint attended college at UC Irvine and Santa Ana College. Clint worked as a bank teller, a college tutor, and an EMT before his fire career. Clint worked for Huntington Beach Fire Department as an ambulance operator in 1995, Menlo Park as a firefighter paramedic in 1996, and he was hired by OCFA as a firefighter in 1997. Clint was promoted to paramedic in 1998, and Clint was an OCFA Benevolent Association director and an OCFA peer support member. Clint was an OCFA peer support member, and he was a director for 11 years. Professional organizations Clint belonged to was the Benevolent Association, Local 3631, and CSFA. The one event during Clint's career that was the most influential was being on one of the units assigned to the Salon Meritage shooting incident in Seal Beach in 2011. It was a catalyst for Clint to seek more training and to be ready, willing, and able to help his peers deal with work-related stress and exposure to trauma. The most memorable event during Clint's career was when he and Ray Geegan were on Medic 17 responding to a choking call. An elderly man had choked on a hot dog and had not been able to breathe for 6 to 7 minutes. He was unconscious on the floor and blue with his adult son in a panic nearby. Clint knew the situation was critical. He laid on the floor and looked down the man's throat with the laryngoscope and saw just the faintest edge of the hot dog. Clint was able to reach in there with the McGill forceps and remove it, and the man took a huge, large gas sprayer at that time. His color rapidly improved and he soon was speaking. The entire 911 system came together in that one moment, and Clint felt fortunate to have been able to make a true difference in that person's life. One event during Clint's career that was the funniest was when Doug Dodge was a new captain at Fire Station 65 in Westminster, and an old school alpha male that he was, for those who knew him. Doug rode the riding lawnmower around for 20 minutes one Saturday morning during yard duties. He had a big smile on his face. He never engaged the blade, so he never cut a single blade of glass as he crashed down the ground. And of course, firefighters taking care of ourselves, nobody said a thing to him, just let him drive around. Till the very end, of course. Clint plans for retirement is to rest, recharge, and travel with his wife. Clint also wants to continue to be of service in his community as a licensed marriage family therapist. And Clint would like to be remembered by his peers as a competent, compassionate, trustworthy, and humorous person. And I can tell you, for his time serving on the Benevolent Association, our directors spend a lot of time behind the scenes. We don't advertise what we're doing, we're helping people out. And it requires a lot of personal time from home. So on top of the job, our folks, and I know I can attest, Clint was one of those that spent a lot of time with people and truly trying to make a difference when things are happening bad in our members' lives. And so Clint, on behalf of the Benevolent Association and to the people that you know you personally helped and we were involved in, thank you for the time you served on our board and the betterment of the board, and more importantly, the people that we serve behind the scenes. So thank you. With that, ladies and gentlemen, it's a great honor to introduce retired firefighter paramedic Clint Christie.
Hello. I've had a couple. Well, first of all, I want to thank everyone at my table, everyone in the room, and Steve Teal really said it well. Of what an incredible agency this is. From years ago to the present, and the future's bright. So I had a couple stories that I thought I'd share, but I'm just going to share one. So I was inspired recently by this article I saw, and it was basically people that have suffered trauma. There's this therapist in England suggesting that they go do stand-up comedy. This is serious, by the way, to work through some of the trauma. I go, this is really interesting. So here's a traumatic story from the past. It's about 15 years ago, and I'm working at 65s with some of the greatest men I've worked with in my career. And a week before we'd gone camping, and one of my good friends we were camping with cooked out in the middle of nowhere in Utah with a Dutch oven. He could bake a cake and all this stuff. So I came back inspired. I go, hey guys, I'm gonna make dinner tonight. That afternoon, I'd had a review of performance from my supervisor, Mark Benedetti. It was glowing, and he's like, Clint, I couldn't be happier with you. You've synced with the crew really well. You're excellent with the public. Your training hours are up. Well done, well done, well done. Thank you, sir. So, I was feeling really good. So, I was preparing dinner, and I wanted to basically cook like I was camping outside with coals and like a Dutch oven. And Pete, who's a very smart man, and he's my firefighter, he goes, Clint, why don't you just use the oven? I go, well, I want to do it this way because we did it camping. It was so fun, and so make a good dinner. Everyone's really happy. I thought it was a good dinner, and about 10 o'clock at night, the doorbell rings, and there was a dumpster fire at Fire Station 65, and it was burning like a dumpster fire. So needless to say, we all engaged, and we're pulling hose and fighting the fire, and no one got hurt. The following morning, I didn't sleep, by the way. The following morning, the captain's like, Clint, can I talk to you? I said, yes, sir. And he goes, well, I have to send this email to the chief to let him know what happened. I said, yes, sir. So I left that morning. I went straight to the waste management department with a checkbook in my pocket. And I'm like, I gotta make this right. I gotta own my mistake. I gotta make it right, and I can't repeat it. So I go, I walk in the door, and this lady's behind glass, and I'm looking at her, and I said, hello. She's like, can you speak up? I'm behind the glass. I'm like, hello, a little bit louder, So basically I explained, my name's Clint, I'm from this address, I'm a firefighter, and there was a fire. What? And she's laughing like and I'm like, oh no, this is the worst day of my life. So bottom line is, she looks it up in the computer and says, well, it's been there 2 years, you're due for a new dumpster anyways, it's not gonna cost you a thing. So the moral of the story is, if you make a mistake, own it. Don't repeat it. The mistake, don't share the story, by the way. And then no one got hurt. So anyways, it's been a great ride. I love you guys. And no.
Okay, our next honoree is retired engineer Johnny Choi. Johnny was born in 1965 in Hong Kong. He grew up in Portland, Oregon, and graduated from Benson Polytechnical in 1983. After high school, Johnny was a sergeant in the United States Air Force.